right, everybody, stand down.
They call it the Hulkbuster, and when you hear that name, you picture one thing: stopping pure, green, unstoppable rage. Building Hulkbuster armor is not something exclusive to Iron Man. There are many who are afraid of what would happen if Hulk ever truly lost control. One of those people was Black Panther, who had not only advanced scientific knowledge to fall back on, but also a massive supply of Vibranium. But not every Hulkbuster is built the same. Today we're pitting two very different philosophies of how you stop a Hulk against each other: Tony Stark's brute force, engineering-first Hulkbuster, and Wakanda's smarter, Vibranium-infused answer to the problem. One is centuries of engineering bent into a single weaponized suit. The other is nation-scale tech and strategy tuned to a very specific target. Let's jump into the backstories first, because knowing why they were built tells you most of what you need to know about how they fight. Tony Stark developed the Hulkbuster armor as a contingency plan, a failsafe for when his friend Bruce Banner might lose control as the Hulk. In the comics, the original Hulkbuster, sometimes called Model 13 or Model 14, debuted in Iron Man number 304, 1994. It was designed to fit over Tony's regular armor and featured magno-hydraulic pseudo-musculature, giving him the ability to lift around 175 tons. The suit also had sensors tuned to detect gamma radiation evidence that Tony planned specifically for when the Hulk might go rogue. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment creation. It was built because Tony and Bruce both recognized the possibility of the Hulk becoming uncontrollable. Decades of stories reinforced Tony's paranoia and preparedness, even if they sometimes sparked bad outcomes like Ultron. Over time, Tony refined the design. In Avengers Age of Ultron 2015 MCU, we meet the Mark 44 Hulkbuster, which Tony built with Bruce Banner to clamp down on a rampaging Hulk. It's delivered via an orbital platform nicknamed Veronica, and reassembles in mid-fight when needed. Later, Infinity War introduces Mark 48, a sleeker version that can be used independently without housing a smaller suit inside, and that Bruce Banner pilots himself. Wakanda's version comes from a different direction. In the comics, T'Challa Black Panther commissioned a Hulkbuster-style armor to deal with Amadeus Cho, the totally awesome Hulk. The need for the Wakanda Hulkbuster suit arose shortly after Clint Barton killed Bruce Banner in the second superhero Civil War. Having been warned of a possible Hulk attack, Barton took the shot that ended Banner's life before anyone was hurt. Clint was tried and acquitted, leaving a very angry and hurt Amadeus Cho to sort through the loss of his close friend. That fact wasn't lost on Captain Marvel, who tried to establish a calm dialogue between herself and Cho. The hope was that they could avoid Amadeus taking any reckless actions against Barton, or even worse, losing complete control over the Hulk's power. Unfortunately, Amadeus rejected her attempts to communicate peacefully, using his powers in ways that alarmed her and S.H.I.E.L.D. T'Challa volunteered to keep an eye on Cho, debuting his Hulkbuster armor in Totally Awesome Hulk number 9 by Greg Pak and Michael Del Mundo. The armor was intended as a last resort, but was on standby in the event Amadeus didn't see reason. The Amor can absorb and amplify the energy given off by anything it touches, and it assembles around him for quick changes. In practice, the armor had sonic cannons, spore clouds capable of knocking out a blue whale, nanobot injectors to suppress gamma energy, and the ability to assemble mid-battle. It could even catch a falling Wakandan plane. The Wakandan suit is designed to take down a specific form of Hulk, Amadeus Cho, the totally awesome Hulk. So you have two origins that reveal a core difference. Tony builds a universal, overpowered tool, a bring more metal answer to force. Wakanda builds a tailored, tactical countermeasure that leverages material science and strategy over raw mass. That difference is everything when the first punch lands. Let's talk tech and design. Tony's Hulkbuster is massive, reinforced with brute structural strength, heavy servos, and a huge power core. It's designed to absorb and dish out kinetic punishment, grab the Hulk, hold him, fly him away, and use containment systems. It's modular. Add-ons can arrive mid-fight, and in the MCU, the suit is launched from orbit and reassembled or augmented remotely. That means Tony's system is exceptionally good at short-term, raw containment and extraction. It also means the suit relies on massive power, heavy structure, and remote logistics. If you can deny resupply, disable Veronica, or keep the fight long enough, that strategy has weak points. Wakanda's Hulkbuster leans into Vibranium and adaptation. Vibranium lets Wakandan tech absorb, store, and redirect kinetic energy, so the suit's design emphasizes energy management and predictive systems rather than simply outmuscling the Hulk. Wakandan engineers also build for intelligence, systems that scale to the Hulk's specific physiology in the comics, scaling to Amadeus Cho's version of the Hulk, tailored weapons, and traps that exploit psychological and physical tendencies. In short, it's less smash and more solve. That's a fundamental tactical distinction. The Wakandan suit was equipped with multiple deterrents to take down the Hulk. The first of these deterrents was sonic weaponry deployed shortly after the Wakanda Hulkbuster was launched. The idea behind it was that the sonics would disrupt the Hulk's ability to focus, impairing not only his hearing but vision as well, leaving him unable to strike. That plan didn't work as well as intended, however, when Amadeus used his great strength to unleash a shockwave. The second deterrent was a release of spores capable of putting a whale to sleep, but the new Hulk shook that off as well. With all the long-range options nullified, T'Challa finally resorted to brute force. This was where the Wakandan Hulkbuster's true strengths were finally shown. The armor was made entirely from Vibranium, and any strike Amadeus made against it would only empower it further. Black Panther even insinuated that it could drain the Hulk's gamma energy, completely depleting him of his ability to fight. Talking about strength, Iron Man's Hulkbuster's strengths are obvious: raw durability, immense power output, and modularity. When the Hulk goes on a rampage, Tony's suit is the sledgehammer answer. It's built to take hits that would crush normal iron suits and still function, to lift and carry, and to deploy countermeasures like restraining arms, jet thrust, and localized dampeners. In cinematic fights, it proved capable of containing and diverting the Hulk long enough to protect civilians and the environment. In short, if your problem is a single, huge, angry target you want to move away from people or pin, Tony's approach is extremely effective. Weaknesses matter more than strengths when two heavy hitters collide. Tony's weaknesses are the same things that make him strong. The Hulkbuster's reliance on brute force and a massive power core means it's vulnerable to tactics that deprive it of power or leverage prolonged attrition. The suit's weight works against maneuverability and subtlety. It's also highly visible and invites escalation. And because Tony often deploys remotely or relies on orbital resupply, clever opponents who can break comms, sever Veronica, or attack the supply chain can flip the advantage. Lastly, the suit assumes the pilot can direct the fight. If the pilot is incapacitated or the AI is jammed, the armor becomes a big, heavy target. Wakanda's vulnerabilities are mostly strategic. A suit tuned to a specific Hulk can struggle if the Hulk's profile changes a different gamma physiology, or a Hulk who fights unpredictably could undermine the suit's tuning. Heavy reliance on Vibranium tech and system integration also creates attack surfaces, electromagnetic disruption, targeted sabotage, or misinformation aimed at turning Wakandan sensors into liabilities. Finally, Wakanda's ethical and political calculus may limit the use of total destructive force. The suit is often used as a controlled, targeted tool rather than a scorched earth response. That restraint can be a strength, and under certain conditions, a limit. So what's the takeaway? There isn't a single clean winner. Tony's Hulkbuster is the textbook answer to brute force: move, restrain, extract. It works spectacularly in short, high-damage interventions. Wakanda's Hulkbuster is the textbook answer to a modern battlefield: adapt, absorb, and outthink. It's built for targeted efficiency, not raw dominance. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments which side you're betting on and why. Would you rather have a suit that can drag the Hulk away, or one that turns his own hits into your power supply? Thanks for watching, and see you again in our next video.